We are in.
We're not in.
We're not in officially, but I'm still saying hello to everyone because people are coming in.
3, 2, 1, and... here we go. We're in. It's number 36 of the FIFA Ramble. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Say hello, Luke.
Thank you for coming to watch us
Thank
tonight.
you very much. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it as always. We appreciate
it.
Out of you fellas and fellarettes. Thank you very much for coming in and watching us ramble. Tonight we will be discussing mainly Arsene Wenger, really. It's the Arsene Wenger loving.
He'll only touch the surface. He'll only touch the tip of it.
We're just touching
Wenger. Scratching the surface.
Yeah, we're just touching the
tip
tonight.
Of Wenger.
We're just touching the tip.
No,
just tip only.
Just the tip in.
Just the tip in.
Just a little taster.
Yeah, not full hog.
No, we're not going full.
No,
whack.
Not full whack tonight. But yeah, we're gonna be discussing Wenger. We're gonna be discussing last night's Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Tonight, because we're aware that
tonight's Champions League, we know it's
Madrid.
on.
We know it's on.
We're watching it now.
We're just competing with viewers.
Yeah, we decided we're watching it now. So I mean, technically, it's a live stream. Ish. You're watching us watching the game, which is better than watching the game itself because we can tell you when to turn on for the good bits.
It's like football Inception, but
it is
a rubbish one.
We are teletext come to life. We're page 302. That's a reference. Not many only a few people will get.
A CFAX.
Yeah.
Reference. It's balling.
301.
It's not just going to be Arsenal.
No, it's not just going to be
Arsenal.
We're going to be all sorts.
A whole host of stuff. I thought when we were doing this, we had loads of things in the gun ready to go, and then boom, last night, Jurgen Klopp happened all over us.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp happened all over us last night. Jurgen Klopp clocked all over us.
Mo Salah this and Mo Salah that.
We had the running order all set up.
Mo Salah this, that.
And then Liverpool went and did that last night. And then we had to replan things a little bit, but we rolled with it.
Do you know my setup last night?
Yeah.
So Liverpool, Roma on one.
Yeah.
Then Cardiff City on the other.
I had the same setup, but I had Cardiff on the big screen.
Ooh.
And I had Liverpool on my phone.
And which one were you?
I focused mainly on Cardiff in the second half.
Yeah. I had the commentary, and then I was watching the Liverpool game.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, that's that. A little bit of everything.
Keeping it loose.
A little bit of everything.
Keeping it loose.
The first thing we are going to discuss is our question of the week.
Some good vibes from last week. We had this on the Friday.
We had this friend. No, not friend of the Ramble. No. Yeah. Not friend. He's not TFR member. We do love him though. Joseph Barton.
Should we drop an anchor now?
We're going to drop anchor. I just need to get. I don't know. We won't drop anchor.
We're not going to do that.
I don't know if Barton is anchor worthy or not because I think it's gone past it.
Well, we missed it. Is what we did because news travels so fast nowadays.
It did. Right, Joey Barton. I think it's irrelevant now, to be fair.
Yeah.
We put out there to you lot, you beautiful public of ours, do you think that Joey Barton being made Fleetwood town manager was a good idea or a bad idea? Essentially, it looks as though he's mates with the owner. So, I don't know. I'm in two minds about it. I really am. I like the fact that he started down low.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the,
it's good publicity.
The level of nepotism. I'm not sure if it's nepotism if they're not a relative, but I'll leave it there.
I'm surprised he hasn't just given playing another crack just yet.
Yeah, I thought he would. Maybe he's going to do a Kevin Nolan.
In the podcast we were listening to, he was dead set on, I'm going to give it a go, even though he thinks it's tough. But he must have been training every day still.
Kept good. Maybe he just thinks that now is the right time. Maybe he's shopped around. It could be a case of he's shopped around looking at what potential clubs he could be interested in him. And maybe he's just decided after feedback that, do you know what? I'm not sure if it's going to be, maybe it was League One level that they were discussing. Maybe that was the level of club that were in for him. So then maybe this Fleetwood Town one came along and he thought, well, maybe it's a case of I could either have a year playing at a lower level, or I could get a jump start on what could be my potential future career.
He must have his badges though, right?
I believe so. I haven't really looked into it too much, to be fair, because I don't.
We were just discussing if it was a good idea on the off chance.
Yeah,
yes or no.
I'm assuming
he's Joey Barton's character.
As far as I'm aware, though, no, Barton hasn't got all of his badges. He hasn't got the badges that Giggs and Scholes have.
Like I said, if he's doing,
but he might
doing a Nolan. Nolan's doing fantastic things at the minute.
Yeah, so. He could. You never know. He could be doing a Nolan, so he could actually end up being player coach.
Where did the overwhelming response go to? Was it a good idea or a bad idea?
We had they ranged from the.
She was on Twitter. You can find that on our Twitter account.
Yeah, they were on just at the FIFA Ramble. I was about to give our Facebook page out. You're on our Facebook page. You're also on audio. We're doing across multi-platforms. We posted it everywhere. We released. We
did a little poll. What we did. We did a
little poll. Right, we had Devish Patel came back with odds on to punch a player in his first month.
No, you misunderstand Joey Barton with that mentality.
I think Barton is
not the case.
There's more to Barton than that. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just bold brushstrokes. There are fine ones in there too. You know?
And look, from all the managers he's worked under, he has learned a lot from everyone, especially the likes of like Warnock to Sean Dyche. He's learned a little bit, and he actually remembers those things. So I think that would be beneficial for him. Keegs, yeah, yeah, very true.
Keegan, who else was he?
Allardyce
at Newcastle.
Club that got, yeah, Allardyce.
Must have been under Pardew at Newcastle as well. Nah, but no, I mean the fact of the matter is that the managers that he did work under, a lot of them. I mean, Sean Dyche is a massive fan. Huge fan. He's nothing but positive about Joey Barton.
Oh yeah, but that's the decorum of,
I think
of the guy because the guy. Yeah, there's absolutely. We know
more
that.
to Joey Barton than people think. That's all.
Yeah, he's a bit of a thinker, but like you said, it's a bit of ego attached, which is what he's got. But like, I'm all for it because why not?
Well, why not? It's a young English manager getting a chance, which apparently doesn't happen. And now, when it does happen. Loads of people complain about it and say that he doesn't deserve the chance.
But you know what?
Do the young English managers deserve a chance or not? You can't have it both ways.
You can, because people are fickle.
Yeah.
There's fickle football fans. FFS.
Yeah, it's true.
FFS.
We had others. We had Martin Simons, somebody with character, exactly what the game is missing at the moment. And then ... I give him 10 months. I was like, okay. So yeah, I see that. He has got character. We're both big fans of him.
Yeah, there's just more to him.
But the best answer came from Adam Hewins, who knows a thing or two about managing a football club. Barrytown Ladies head coach, local to us. 2 cup finals this year, he's got them 2. They've never got to a cup final. And they're in 2. And they just won the under-16s, Welsh tournament.
Great guy.
Yeah. His answer was, I'm very interested to see how this pans out. Maybe similar to Roy Keane and Paolo Di Canio managerial reigns, but maybe not. We shall see. Glad he's been given a chance at a smaller club first, though. Which is true.
Fair enough.
And we've said this before, in that we said this when Giggs got made manager or head coach of Wales, and we said he's taken on a big job first, and there's two ways of looking at it. It's a case of is Giggs getting the Welsh job? Is that too much too soon? Because
because if you want someone quite young and go get him, like we were a bit sceptical about that because he's been on the market for quite some time and he's pick and choosing a bit too much for my liking. But Joey Barton, if this has come through, it's the right time. Why not? It's a good season to bed in as well.
I still think that international management is actually not what it used to be. I think we said this at the time when Giggs was appointed. I actually now think that international management is less of a strain on you as a young manager and an up and coming manager than club football. I think you're less likely to burn out if you take over at Wales than you would be if you took over at Blackburn.
More of a chilled out pace as well, isn't it?
You got to play. It's a part-time gig, isn't it? Really, I know it's full-time because you've got other things.
Gig.
Yeah, but as a managerial, it is part-time. Yeah. It's a part-time gig. There's the other way of looking at it, which Nolan has done at Notts County, which is start low, and work you out, and he's done a phenomenal
He's
job
really
there.
that's very thoughtful, like to do that.
I don't think neither of them are without merit. I think they've both got their positives, and it depends on how you look at it. Because again, it's not like before when Don Revie, back when England was the biggest job in the country that you could take. Don Revie left Leeds United, who were champions and were one of the best sides in Europe, to take over England, and it was seen as the last promotion that he could possibly have. Whereas now, I think someone could come in, genuinely, a young English manager, take over England, and use that as a way of getting to a bigger club.
Yeah, I could see that.
So it's both ways, but I just think Joey Barton,
look, you're not
deserves a chance.
You're not going to get the ilk of Mourinho very often either.
No.
And it's that whole thing of good player,
Certainly
bad manager, good player, Zinedine Zidane, good player, good manager. Like you don't know how that's going to pan out. So it's irrelevant, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, Mourinho didn't play the game to a certain extent. And moving nicely.
There's a lot about Arsene Wenger, right?
Moving on nicely to our next subject.
The whole
Arsene Wenger.
Let's discuss a bit of Wenger ball, shall we? Let's the old Wengerton. Everyone starts off by saying he wasn't much of a player when he was there. Right? Self-confessed, he wasn't to a good standing. However, he was in a squad which won the league like where he was.
Yeah.
And the fact is that Joey Barton says this all the time as well. It takes strength, guts, determination, and luck overall to make it on any level as a professional football player.
If you can make money from playing football, you've made it.
Any snide remark about any level of football that you actually play is ridiculous. If you make it as a player who is professional and you can earn a living, or any wage for that matter, wage, that is not a stick of success or failure.
No.
The fact is that you are a professional sports athlete and you get paid to play, and that is your job.
Yeah.
The fact everyone's moaning about, he wasn't up to much. He was just a holding midfielder. A holding midfielder who probably read their game very well and had his own methods to do things, and had that vision to carry through what he thought would be best.
Mm-hmm.
And says, and laugh about it, through the league he played in before he realised probably wasn't cut up for it.
Yeah.
Self-confessed level of probably right there.
Yeah.
So it just gets to me a bit. Gets to me a little bit.
There's a comment which I can't see. It does get to. There was a very famous quote that said, "I don't have to have once been a calculator to do maths," and I think it's a very antiquated thing now.
Yeah.
You have to have been a player at a certain level to be a decent manager, because you look at what are you deeming a successful footballer? Because there's been players who've been great players and subpar managers. Mm-hmm. And it takes just as much luck to become a good manager as it does a good footballer.
And there's no doubt.
The aforementioned Di Canio being one of them. And
we could reel off a list of players who have been influenced by Arsene Wenger completely in their careers, like like your Anelkas to your Thierry Henrys to your XHAKAs, to all these great players, and the impact that's had. Like, was it Lewandowski, for example, puts the emphasis on Jurgen Klopp making him the player he is.
Yeah.
His time at Dortmund. Like, the impact of someone with the gravitas of Arsene Wenger is huge on a scale which is immeasurable.
Yeah.
And people are just realising that. And I just love how everything's just turned and twisted and distorted in Arsene Wenger loving right now. There's going to be people fueled by hate and spite, which they'll be like, "Oh, we've seen him gone, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But it's weird to see a parade of all the significant key things that Arsene Wenger has done over his lifetime in the game, 22 years at that football club, and the change which he's put in, and the overall updating of antiquated football system and pushing it to the next level with nutrition, with systems in place.
He was brilliant.
So I love the fanfare coming out, and it's a phenomenal thing to see. But people just don't get it, do they?
No,
they never will.
No
one ever says thanks. They just don't get it. Same with Cloughy. Same with Sir Alex as well.
Mm-hmm.
Generations which are younger than us will not understand the gravity of that level, and they won't. And they won't appreciate it. They won't care.
No, they live in a world where if a manager goes through a rough patch after 18 months, he's gone.
Yeah.
I
changing of the guard, and I was sad when I heard that. Even though we've discussed it, either way, if he goes now or if he goes at the end of the season, or if he stays another season, I genuinely I had a lump in my throat when he was like when that news dropped, because it hasn't really sunk in yet. But straight away,
I remember seeing when Ferguson retired.
Yeah.
It was genuinely one of the worst days I can remember, because I didn't know how to react. Alex Ferguson had been manager of Manchester United since I was 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
But with Wenger, and we should probably drop anchor on this so that we get some content on other platforms. But with Arsene Wenger, the only thing that I would say to all those Arsenal fans, and I just Arsenal fans here, but those Arsenal fans who were criticising him and the ones that celebrated,
be careful what you wish for.
Really, you should be careful, because that Arsenal team, and I mean this with the greatest of respect to that Arsenal team, because I've said many a time, I don't support them, but I very much enjoy Arsenal Football Club. And we found it with my club, Manchester United, when Ferguson left. That club is being held together by Arsene Wenger. And there's a lot of players who are reaching they've gone past the peak of their careers. They're now in their twilight years. I'm not saying they're all going to retire now, but they are getting there. Mertesacker is obviously gone, but Koscielny is reaching that age. Monreal is reaching that age. Petr Cech. It happened with United. We had Vidic, Ferdinand, Evra.
But look, Arsene Wenger hasn't left it in the same way that Sir Alex has left it for anyone else.
No. So there's a lot of 30 plus.
The Sir Alex way of doing things was a very selfish way, by the way, of he knew what he left behind. He knew that was the end, and he couldn't do any more with that. It's one of the reasons why he left. And I think that's pretty unfair of him to leave him in that situation. Arsene Wenger hasn't done that in the same degree, in the same capacity, because he could have, knowing whatever happens, he could have not spent a goddamn thing last season or this season. He could have gone and just said, well, that's it, I haven't got any money. But what he's done, for the purchases that he's actually lashed out this season, he's actually had one little cheeky roll of the dice with getting Aubameyang in and Lacazette in.
I also think that it wasn't actually his decision to leave.
I don't think that as well, because of what's happened today.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to. We should we need to drop anchor, but we need to now do another intro.
We can do that.
Explaining. Okay. For you lot watching
they don't
this,
need to know.
It's not going to make sense.
They don't need to know.
But if you subscribe to us on iTunes, it will make sense.
Yeah.
Do you want to start, or shall I?
We'll both start. On 3, 2, 1, press it, and then we'll both say Arsene Wenger. 3, 2.
Arsene Wenger.
Seamless.
That was good.
Absolutely. No, we should do that more often.
Arsene Wenger.
Where do we start, Luke? Where do we start?
Well, yeah, he's gone.
Let's start by saying this is a theme of ours, which we've said since we've been doing these lovely little, like 36 of them, and there's been a common thread that's been weaved and stitched into every single one, and it's been the case of be careful what you wish for. Arsenal fans, be careful what you wish for. In terms of it, like having the head of Arsene Wenger when there's a particular thing that's happened, or there's been some chaos, some drama, which isn't really drama with Arsenal. Arsenal Fan TV, we're looking at you here. This shouldn't be the case.
It's going to be very interesting. It could go one of two ways. Someone could come in instead of this. However, I now believe that what is going to happen,
it's chaos.
It's Animal Farm.
Yeah, it's chaos. Explain that.
It's right. It's Animal Farm in that they've got rid of I'm talking directly to the people who wanted to see him go, and they gave with such spite and vitriol and venom that they gave to him, and they just wanted him gone.
Pure hatred.
They just wanted him gone. He won, and I want it stated for the record for everyone who replied to me saying, "Yeah," when I put out a post saying how great he was, they went, "Oh, but he didn't win anything." Out of the last 4 FA Cups, he won 3 of them. shut your mouth. He won stuff. There's if you're just judging success on whether or not you win the league or the Champions League, then that's a different story. However, don't come to me and say Arsene Wenger didn't win stuff, because he did. But with that, the Animal Farm reference, what I'm getting to is that in Animal Farm, they got rid of the farmer because they felt that he wasn't treating them correctly. And then what happened? The people who came in and took over then became just as bad as the previous. It's I don't know what they're expecting. Like, I genuinely don't know what these Arsenal fans are expecting.
How do you quantify success? You do on a modern time with how much you've won. Yeah. You see that in the likes of Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola. I understand that. However, not understanding the sheer revolutionary vision that Arsene Wenger had coming through, you cannot deny the impact that's had over the whole footballing landscape since he's joined Arsenal. He's transformed everything. And I'll tell you now, that the modern game in England right now in this league would not be a shade of what it is today without Arsene Wenger.
All the people who revolutionised this league have now gone. He was the last.
He was the last one.
He was the last one. Because you have Ferguson as well at United knocking the drinking culture on the head. And then Wenger did it to an even bigger extent, because he brought in dietitians and
of Sir Alex, and bringing dietitians in, bringing like health structure, like not only diet, tactical nuance as well. Yeah. It's fascinating. If you actually look into what he has actually brought to the game, you will be shocked if you aren't aware. And people who are younger than us will not know and they won't care. No. But these are stable figures
We're
of the game.
We're literally talking to people who were born at the latest early 80s.
And how else do you quantify success? I quantify it in a number of different ways, but there's things like having an influence and an impact on all those phenomenal players over the time. Like, he revolutionised the game in so many different ways you won't even realise. But his philosophy stands out head and shoulders over anything that anyone's ever seen. His philosophy, how he impacts those players, gets the most out of them, and to see things where not everyone would see in the likes of those impact purchases, like your Bergkamps, like your Anelkas. Anelka is fun, like insane. That's like a business model.
Again, I know
no one will know.
No one's going to remember them the impact Anelka made, and then it vanished.
But then you've got players who he spotted, like Petits, like Mark Overmars, like Sylvain Wiltord. Like, all these players have been brought to the league because of because of the likes of Arsene Wenger and his vision. And he's got a lot of stick because of it, because there was a moment of all these foreign players coming in, this, that and the other. They were artists being brought in, is what they were. Football was transformed to art.
Imagine that. I mean, Emmanuel Petit.
No one can remember. Like, people in the English won't understand the Invincibles.
Patrick Vieira, Emmanuel Petit, Marc Overmars, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp. Jesus.
Freddie Ljungberg.
Oh, holy moly. Just though, like, honestly, I just named 5 of my favourite footballers ever. Now, my list of favourite footballers is like a Leonard Cohen poem.
And what's that technically is too? Okay, we'll go Emmanuel Adebayo, we'll go Robin Van Persie. Mm-hmm. All these high-profile players. Do you know another one? Alexander Hleb.
Yeah, brilliant.
Phenomenal
What
players.
A career that, I mean, that man, though,
we could go on, but the point is,
he peaked at Arsenal.
We go on, but this will all be forgotten about. But I hope it won't, because it has had such an impact on the way we look at football now, and it's really brought things to the highest level possible because of the likes of this technical, astute behaviour, which has spurred on and had influence and had an impact and ruffled the feathers of Alex Ferguson. And without that, like, how else do you measure success?
Before Arsene Wenger, the biggest, I remember when Newcastle brought in Asprilla and Ginola.
Faustino Asprilla, yeah.
And so it was everything. They're like, oh my God, they've got a Colombian. And oh my God, where was he? Parma, I believe he was signed from. And that was it. There wasn't that much there weren't many players from abroad coming into the Premier League. And again, young people don't understand this. They don't understand the impact, because I remember when Newcastle were in 95-96, when Newcastle were ahead, they needed something. Kevin Keegan said, I need another player to just get us over the line. And he bought David Batty. Mm-hmm. Arsene Wenger a year later came in and starts bringing in players like Petit and Vieira.
Incredible.
You went from David Batty, and no offence to David Batty, but you're not Patrick Vieira. And then after that, that opened more players. Clubs started playing.
How much of a staple point is the Patrick Vieira style player now? Like, to bring that into the game to battle the likes of Roy Keane
people of a certain age, people of a certain age, all you have to say is Patrick Vieira, and unless it's followed by Roy Keane, you're missing the point. And that was it. It was so much. It's so exciting to watch. Because it was always United and another. And that another for so long was Arsenal. And now people look back and they look back and almost, I hope they don't, but because people look back and just see the record books, as they tend to do, and just see who won.
Yeah.
There was much more to it than that. It was nuanced.
We could go so
the 99 FA Cup.
Yeah, we could go,
you know,
we could go incredibly deep into this topic, but like I understand after the V era of that, after he left, there was Gilberto Silva, who's a phenomenal player, and then Arsenal went a little bit soft in the middle, and that's when there wasn't that much success. So it went from power to technical astuteness, and I think that like lesser developed.
They were the dodgy.
It was, and that's the killer blow. I think that period of not winning anything. Everyone has it, because guess what? That's the ebb and flow of football.
The only difference, and it's sad now, because the only difference that we won't see is that his ebb lasted longer. Because again, if everyone looks back on rose-tinted glasses, and they will in a couple of years, all of these little talking points will be gone. Is that Wenger will be discussed in the way that he deserves to be discussed, one of the greatest of all time.
Just with respect, that's all I want.
That will happen now. The further away we get from his dodgy years, but the sad thing for Arsene Wenger, and for me anyway, and like I said, I hope it gets forgotten, is that his difficult years, if we shall say, the year, when the years akin to when Dylan went electric, it was that
to the point where
they lasted longer than Ferguson's.
If it gets to the point of even when he wins a FA Cup, everyone says, "Oh, that's,"
and that is the biggest. It's the biggest. That's the biggest statement that you can make on how successful he was, and he became a giant of the game that people expected to succeed, because winning 3 out of 4 FA Cups was not seen as good enough anymore.
We'll discuss Arsene Wenger a bit longer again, because it's not enough 10 minutes right now.
No, it's not enough. We need to discuss
Next, we'll be discussing the future of Arsene Wenger. And we'll go into that.
I need to save this now.
Oh, save away.
But you know what I mean? Look, for those watching, while I'm setting this up, what I mean is, and again, you know this because you know me, but I'm going to come off as someone who's saying about but I'm coming in from a Wenger standpoint. Ferguson had his dodgy years. People have forgot this.
Yeah.
He had the Cleverson, the Jembas.
You always have to rebuild. The Taibis.
Taibbi.
You always have to rebuild.
Don't start Taibbi. Taibbi played 4 games for Man United and he had 2 man of the matches.
And
50% man of the match record. Come at me.
He's in Italy now.
He was a great keeper. He just had two games where mistakes happen. If that had been spread out over a season, we can't get into Taibbi.
That's the life of a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But there is...
My argument is Wenger's lasted longer, which is annoying.
There's rotations that teams can play. And when Sir Alex left Man United, he left him in a hell of a state.
Yeah, he did, definitely.
But it's just the flow of the game.
He didn't leave them in as worse a state as David Moyes made it look like they were, which is irritating.
And now he harks back, if you hear him, just mentioning. Yeah.
Like we bought Wilfried Zaha. He had Wilfried Zaha in. That was his last signing. Ferguson's last signing was Wilfried Zaha. Yeah. There you go. There's a young left winger. And he had... There were young players at that club. There were young players at that club and what happened then was David Moyes came in and decided to tell Rio Ferdinand to try and play like Phil Jagielka. Don't tell Rio Ferdinand won the European Cup. Phil Jagielka, my ass.
Yeah, we could talk about Moyes.
Yeah, I'm not starting on Moyes. I'm still on Moyes.
I'm happy he's found a level of West Ham now. I am happy with that.
Yeah, and I'm very happy. It's beneath me.
Should we discuss the future?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a title for this. Arsene Wenger, Levin. Right, that'll do, won't it? Arsene Wenger, Levin. Be careful what you wish for, Arsenal fans.
Well, it's too late now. You've wished for it.
Yeah,
it's gone.
You'll never know.
It's blooming well gone.
How good.
See what happens. Some people want to see the world burn. But a change might be good, depending if they get Nagelsmann. There's some really interesting names being thrown around.
Yeah, there's there's
I can't believe
there's Thomas Tuchel. Do you know who has now become the favourite with some of them? Is, oh my God, what's his name?
Barcelona?
No, PSG's coach.
Oh, really? Allegri was in there as well, I think.
Yeah, Allegri, until he basically just went, I'm Juventus manager.
I'm good.
I'm at Juventus. I'm fine. The PSG manager is the favourite at the minute because there's talk. Again, it's all talk, but there's talk that PSG are getting in quite a few. Also, Monaco's coach has been mentioned.
And look, Arsene Wenger is not going to be starved for work, is he? Let's face it.
Well, again,
the future of Arsene
Wenger. He has been. Wenger himself has been linked with PSG this week.
He has, and that's what we're going to.
He has indeed. Right, we're going to.
The future of Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, the future. What does the future...
He could just walk into any number of high-profile jobs. It's up to him to pick and choose what project he wants to do now. Because he's not going to stop working because he's a workaholic. You can't switch off from it because he's aware that he's working towards something. But finding that... Look at the amount of work that he's turned down over the years.
Mm-hmm.
To Real Madrid, to PSG, sorry.
Well, according to Martin Edwards... He was...
England.
Martin Edwards says that they spoke to Arsene Wenger.
He's mates with all the...
To take over at Man United.
No, what, beforehand?
No, beforehand. When Ferguson announced his first... When he said he was going to retire after the treble.
Yeah.
This came out last year. Martin Edwards did a sit-down interview, and obviously Martin Edwards was chairman at United. And he said that when Ferguson, they did line up the manager, he was already in place to take over. But he came out and he said that they had a meeting, him and Bobby Charlton had a meeting with Arsene Wenger, and Arsene Wenger had agreed to take over United at the end of the season. Now that was immediately shut down by Wenger, but Martin Edwards then came back and said, well, you can shoot down as much as you want, but he was like, he says, I've got the recording. He's like, it was taped. And there's audio of the meeting, which they kept because they needed it for the records and the minutes and stuff. But there's apparently an audio tape of Arsene Wenger agreeing contract terms with Manchester United. And then they eventually decided to not go with Wenger, and Sven-Göran Eriksson had signed the contract, and they had to buy him out of his contract because Ferguson came in one morning and went, I've had a think and I don't want to leave. But he's been offered loads then.
Yeah,
he's been offered a lot.
He's mates with PSG bigwigs as well. He knows the game inside and out.
I think he would. I think
that'd be a good fit for him. Where else would he go?
Well, that's the thing. Where else would he go?
Where would he go?
Well, you wouldn't imagine that Arsene Wenger would.
He's not going to stay in this country. He's too good for this country.
Yeah, I think if he did stay in this country,
I think Chelsea it would. Somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think he would be his manager. Oh. I don't think he would be a manager. I think if he stayed in this country and stayed in the Premier League, because I don't think at his age, and he's going to tell me ages.
He doesn't have to work, by the way.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. But he also, I don't think he's going to take over a club thinking, oh, it's a 5-year project. I don't think that's what he wants. I think I would like to see him basically at a top. Yeah, I think he'd be a consultant somewhere now if he stayed in this league. If he stayed in the Premier League, he could potentially get an extremely well-paid job at any single club in this league. And I mean any club, unless it's Spurs. Spurs is the only one he wouldn't be able to get a job at.
Yeah.
He could get a job anywhere else, doing any role. I don't think he'll be a manager. If he wants to be a football manager or a head coach or whatever you want to describe it, then he, in my opinion, needs to go to a club where he can essentially kick the doors into the saloon and say, I'm here. And then very quickly afterwards ride into the sunset.
It'd be a good
with
challenge
some
for him
loot.
today as well to see if he's up to that.
My opinion is PSG. That was
Yeah, I think that makes absolute sense.
my opinion. Is
he knows
PSG,
that league inside out. He's very comfortable with the owners there.
Yeah, he's got a habit of playing. He's got history of using high profile players, getting good, and he literally.
It might be good for him to do that though.
Well, yeah, it would, because also with PSG is it's there, it's set up. He's not going to take over at Burnley and and be like, right, I've got to build this club and it's 4 or 5 years.
It's impact. You've got
PSG. You come in, 2 years.
Yeah,
you could come in on a 2-year contract. Come in,
make it work. If it doesn't work, you can't. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
We're going to give you the money. We're giving you money. You've got Cavani. You've got Neymar. You've got Draxler. You've got Mbappe. Di Maria.
He's always
has he got Mbappe? That's another story. But
he's always wanted to work with Draxler.
You've got all these players. Come in. It's set up here. What do you need? We'll sign you 3 or 4 new players.
Yep. Sure.
We want to win the Champions League.
Also,
and he could literally leave in 2 years' time with 2 more league titles, 2 more cups, and the Champions League.
Because it's been a love affair with Arsenal, and to care so much about that club. Obviously, he's getting paid very well, but to see through the changing of a stadium as well, and to make sure it's financially sound going forward for the future of the club, and he's left it better than he did when he came in.
Exactly, that's the thing that these people chanting don't understand is that
I have no concept.
He's also said
the
finances.
Way business, finance.
He said that in his not in his statement.
To
it was
have those
the
shackles off, and just to go to a PSG and be like, right, I'll get you anything you want.
Yeah, what do you want? I think. Long-term PSG, I still reckon they're looking at Mourinho. In my opinion, I think
Mourinho. Look, he's 3 years. That's it.
Yeah, well, he's not going to leave United yet because United have paid him very well. And from what he's saying, he wants to now use United to show that he's not just 3 years. But I still think long-term PSG want him, and I still think he wants PSG because he sees it as another country. But I think Wenger, for now, comes into PSG, rides in, gets given money,
smashes in.
2 years.
How much you want? Have some more. Yeah, 2 years. Win everything.
Come in, and he can see out his career. Yeah, he can see out his career playing in a. For some people, don't believe it is, but it is a very competitive league. A good standard. You probably win a league title or 2.
Yeah. And then next project. It might be good for him. Right, that's a bit of Arsenal chat. Okay, cool.
It's 1-1. Real Madrid.
Marcelo
Bayern.
Marcelo
has got
Kimmich.
I've just seen Rocket.
News update.
2 of the best fullbacks in world football.
That's a very interesting. You'd never bet that first score. People that are betting on Lewandowski or Ronaldo right now to score first probably tear their hair out. You'd imagine, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Ripping it out in chunks. Well, I think that's enough Arsene Wenger Arsenal chat before I start crying. I was just going to mention about Granit Xhaka. You know I like Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, you do. Future Arsenal captain,
because he's the future Arsenal captain. He's one of those low-key players which Arsene Wenger, with his funds and everything else, actually got and made something out of in a time where Arsenal, yet again, were too soft in the middle of the park. They had no bite. Bring someone with a bit of bite in, has got a bit of sass to him, and then everyone moans, oh yeah, he's too aggressive, this, that and the other. Granit Xhaka is still very young. I think he's about 24 right now. He's going to be a great player. Like he will be. I think he'll be high level. He is high level now, I think. Yeah. But he's one of those under the radar midfielders who potentially could be one of the best in their position in the league. Like we could wax over how great Aaron Ramsey is, and he's phenomenal, especially everything he's been through and how technically brilliant he is. And when he's on form, he is on form. But the thing is, there's no consistency. Someone like Ramsey is like you don't know what you're going to get, which is frustrating because you could have highest level 1 week and then for some other reason you can just go missing the other. So I think Granit Xhaka has the ability to be that great player, and he's one of those, another prime example of a Wenger signing of the modern time.
He's a great signing.
And then you've got the biggies like Pierre Aubameyang,
Emmerich.
And do you see who else has come to life a little bit?
Who?
Alexander Lacazette.
Yeah, well, I've talked about this. I think Lacazette's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's brilliant. But I did say at the start, I didn't think he was what you needed.
But
I also don't think Aubameyang.
But if those players come available, they're not.
Oh, yeah, no,
but I think that's his little splurge.
You have to do it.
I think that's the equivalent of Arsene Wenger walking past a shop and seeing a nice pair of shoes and thinking, do you know what? I'm going to have them.
Yeah, well, look, at the end of the day, did Everton need to buy 16 number 10s? No. Did United need Alexis Sanchez? No. We could do with the centre-back. Do Real Madrid need a quarter of their squad? No. They don't need to. Isco is a player who's just there. You know what I mean? He's playing week in week, but they could, they got Casemiro. They've got so many different options.
Right. Let's do a quick FA Cup. Then we're going to shout at the camera on player of the year with the debate of people saying he's better than Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah.
So we'll do a quick FA Cup roundup because again that happened. That did happen. We'll talk about Man United. Talk about Spurs. Talk a bit of Spurs bottling it and not having enough bite.
One each on each game.
Yeah, sure. We don't need to spend too much time on well, you do because you like the Giroud goal.
Giroud goal was stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
We don't need to spend too much time because that was sort of one of the things we were looking at.
I think it'd be nice to have one on.
Yeah.
Just for analytics.
Just make the Chelsea one a fun Giroud one.
Yeah.
We'll just go a bit like that.
Right, should we do United first?
Yeah, I can't just do United.
So the FA Cup happened.
Wembley.
That was a thing.
Wembley.
So first things first, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham when they scored early, I did think it was going to be like the league game where they just destroyed. Yeah, I mean Tottenham destroyed us in the league game. I thought it's happening again.
Great Eriksen put through cross to get Ali in.
Well,
do you think that the celebrations are a bit too soon in that? Like in terms of like, all right, you scored a goal, but it's an FA Cup game and you need to be focused.
Yeah, you've scored a goal, but it's an FA Cup semi-final and you play for Tottenham Hotspur.
Exactly. So, no, you got down roll and I understand you're happy. It's great, but you need to just get in the zone because you know they're going to come after you. That you know that.
Yeah, and then what United did was Spurs kept up the pressure for a little bit, but United just ground them down. It was wearing, wasn't it, to watch? It was. It was. You could see them lagging and tiring, and you could just. You
could see it happening before it happened.
They were bullying them, basically.
And that's why I think Mourinho was a bit smug because he knew he bullied them.
He was broke because basically he said after the game, didn't he? He said, "You kill me when I lose, and then when I win, you expect me to. You get surprised why I'm angry at you." Yeah.
But that's
but you're not gonna. And then he said,
"You're not Mourinho, though."
Yeah. Well, he then said, "You're not going to go across to my opposition, and you won't murder him now."
But you know why?
In the same way that you would murder me.
We discussed this before though about Pochettino.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's no like we don't see in the press him getting like annihilated.
No, you don't.
Because he's not achieved anything this year. Again, he hasn't done that. Like, it's hard to do that. People don't understand the gravity of it. So any cup win is huge. And the fact is, Pochettino hasn't got that, and he's great. Undoubtedly, you know that. He's fantastic at that level.
Good book, too.
Have you seen that? I haven't read it.
Very good.
But the point is, it's two ends of the spectrum there, really. Like, how much longer would you keep Pochettino if your key is to win things? You can't do that.
I think one. I agree that it's hard to win stuff. However, Spurs need to win something, and they need to win something soon because, again, and they said it on the coverage after the game. I think it was Shearer that said it actually, and I never give that man much credit, but I will here because it was a good point. He basically said what we said weeks ago, and we did a podcast on it. Check the link; it's down below. That Spurs need to win something soon because you see all the time that Spurs are discussed as this great exciting team and they're brilliant. That only goes so far. Mm-hmm. That you need to actually cement it because in 25 years' time, no one will go, remember that really good Spurs side? because unless they win something.
Do you know what I think will happen with Spurs? They'll lose 1 or 2 of their players this year.
Well, this is what Shearer said, actually. Shearer said, he said what also happens, if you're not willing to pay the big wages, which Spurs aren't, it's well known that Spurs don't pay as well as Man United or Arsenal or the other big clubs. He then said, if you can't give them the big money, then you do have to give them trophies. He was like, Kyle Walker left. He's got a pay rise and a Carabao Cup and a league winners medal in his back pocket now. He said, how long until other players look at that? And today, the rumours have started again. Danny Rose to United.
I think there's a matter of time because
they've started up now. It's happening now. I do think it's just because Danny Rose is a left back in English.
Yeah, but they've done. Yeah, and there's no one else in that position, and he's an English international. The same thing with Trippier, though. They haven't used Danny Rose because like Ben Davies has been stepping. Just so happens he's had the season of his life.
Ben Davies is an animal,
and he's Welsh. He's amazing. That's great work, Ben. If you're watching, I know you're a big fan. Yeah, always watching. He's done phenomenal things, but they've done the same thing they did with Trippier and Kyle Walker. Eased them out because they know that they're probably going to lose him.
Yeah.
So it's just damage limitation. But fair enough for Mourinho and Man United. They pulled it around.
Well.
They bullied them in the second half, and they got the result.
The thing which stood out for me, which was, I mean, the first goal was unbelievable. But there was a few things that I was watching and pointing at. Is one, I've never seen Dembele bullied off the ball like that.
Yeah.
And Pogba walked through him like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, but that's the calibre of Paul Pogba.
Yeah, I know, but the strength of Dembele, that's like knocking a water buffalo over.
I know, but the factor is everyone like not fully comprehending how much of a good player Paul Pogba is.
He's got
yeah, exactly, and it's the same with Lukaku. We always do this common thread. All we go for. And we do Pogba, we do Lukaku, we do Arsene Wenger, we do these constantly all the time.
People who criticise and they're actually
people
brilliant.
who criticise.
Talking about people who criticise are actually brilliant. Paul Pogba then put one of the best crosses I've seen all season.
Anything much said about that?
And yeah, exactly. Not a lot. It was stunning, that cross. He made it look effortless, but it was anything but.
That's what you pay the bucks for.
Yeah, and also the making it look effortless, and when it's not, continued with Alexis Sanchez heading in from one of the most improbable angles I've ever seen.
Big Alexis Sanchez.
Fullback just made it look easy.
And because Paul Pogba, he redeemed himself because he was slack on the mark in the first goal. Do you see him high press, push, win the ball back, then whip that ball in for Sanchez?
It was brilliant.
It was amazing. And it was nice to see Mourinho actually go, right, yes, you actually did something I really appreciate then. And that is the making of an actual, like, forming a good relationship again. I don't think he's ever been bad. I just think Paul Pogba needs to rein his attitude in a little bit.
Yeah.
And his work ethic will follow because the quality is undoubtedly there.
Yeah,
it's fine. And what he did to make that goal was amazing. So I think they're on good terms, and I do think Man United are in with a really good shot about winning that.
I really do. I really hope they do.
And look, from Mourinho's perspective, to go from European Cup to FA Cup over a couple of seasons, pretty good.
Yeah, he's a serial winner, isn't he?
Yeah, and serial winner, and that's what I think about that game. Right, let's make the Giroud one fun. We'll just talk about how lovely he is, how wonderful he is, because he is wonderful, you know.
He is brilliant, lovely. Yeah.
Oh, save it. We'll drop anchor now.
Hang on, I gotta save it. Knows how to win. The tip that I found, for all you watching who use Anchor, the tip that I found is you need to add as many things in the taggable.
Don't hard work goes around it. Just giving this away. So at least do a downloadable guide where we can charge for if you subscribe to the YouTube channel or like us on Facebook. Anything like that. Right, so we'll just go to the poll. We won't say the Twitter poll, we'll just say the poll. And we'll just shout at there and just discuss certain things. Okay,
that ball from Pogba. That header from Sanchez.
That smug Mourinho.
That smug Mourinho. That Ali celebration.
Oh, it's awkward, isn't it? It's
continued lack
far too long.
of
It's up there with
winning.
It was almost a Pardew-esque.
Yeah. Winning mentality from Spurs. Yeah, another fortnight drop and all on the game. They're happening everywhere now.
Quick, do a Pardew dance. Pardew FA Cup dance.
Oh, getting loose. I like it.
Like
That's
yoga.
It's content you don't get from the Telegraph.
There you go.
Tandem Pardew dancing.
Pards dancing.
I wear my hat like this now.
Should we do a quick pards dance on Instagram?
What I propose is post this, because I know we wrap up in about 5-10 minutes.
I think so.
We'll do it in a well-lit kitchen.
I think that's... Well, there you go. You won't see that, will you? Unless
you will if you follow us on Instagram at the FIFA Ramble. Get following.
We're going to do a pards dance.
This, you Facebookers, this is essentially you watching us prep a meal.
What this is your starter.
If you want to see the full meal, you need to follow us on other forms of social media.
It's your starter.
Including iTunes and Instagram.
For crap's sake.
Do you want to do a Giroud one?
Yeah, we'll do a really quick Giroud one. Oh, Giroud, he's handsome, isn't he? He can play the football, can't he? Olivier Giroud. Right, FA Cup.
Yeah.
2-0 against Southampton. Chelsea are going to face Man United in the FA Cup. The game, did you watch it? Did you see it?
Do you know, I only watched little bits of it.
You just saw the highlights of Olivier Giroud, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw Giroud. I saw Hazard
Yeah.
giving the ball, and then Giroud did what I thought was...
Fancy.
Gosh, unbelievable. It was
good footwork for a big man.
Amazing footwork.
Great work there. If he'd missed, that would have been peak Arsenal. But he's got a spring in him step, and I, for one, am very happy to see him do that.
It's...
What a lovely man he is.
Do you think Conte's annoyed? Because he's already on his holiday, isn't he?
He's chilling though. But
but he's on his holiday. He knows he's not going to be there. We know he's not going to be there. Chelsea know he's not going to be there. You've
literally got nothing to lose. And I think it devalues it when some Chelsea players say, even winning the FA Cup won't make up for the season we had. Come on, get a grip. It's a cup. You should value that. You should appreciate any cup you're in. Even if it's a European Cup, which is devalued somehow. An FA Cup win is huge. It's massive. So don't even give me that ungrateful attitude, any of you Chelsea players, because I know you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta,
we're talking about
Willian, I know exactly what you're thinking. Azpilicueta, Cahill lost the will to play football. If you at the high level, always too much pressure. Whatever. Value the FA Cup, because a cup win is a beautiful thing and something players will not even get to taste. And you there, dissatisfied with it. Oh, it won't save our season. Boo-hoo, Chelsea fans. Jesus.
I'm just leaving it there. Leaving it there. I'm going to put that as boo-hoo, Chelsea fans.
and like one solitary enemy with
that. Chelsea versus Southampton. That Giroud finish.
Boo-hoo, Chelsea.
That Wembley feeling.
Right.
That ungratefulness.
We're going to wrap this up soon because we've got a Bayern Munich Real Madrid match to watch.
Yeah.
So we understand basically everyone who usually watches this is watching that game now, and I don't blame you. We're just watching it whilst doing this. So we completely get that. But anyone who's watching, cheers, thanks very much. If you've got anything you want to mention, you YouTubers watching us, put in the comments because we like a bit of a ruckus on the comments. So if you are watching this, I'm looking at you. I'm talking at you. You beautiful YouTube fans of ours. We appreciate that. We're going to do a little segment now. Should we drop anchor? Drop anchor. And we're going to look squarely in there, and I'm going to edit another little bit and piece in.
Right, well, if we're going to edit, I've got to actually do that.
So getting close, right?
Turn that way.
Yeah. Like that.
Too close.
Like that, right?
Okay, I'll just keep that there.
Yeah. Right.
There's too much eyeshine on my glasses. I'm going to have to go there. Right, there's too much again.
Hunker in. Come on.
No, but it's the eyeshine. This is ridiculous. For you watching, this is...
With your flat cap.
This is unreal.
Jesus. Why does your head look smaller than mine?
Isn't it, ready?
That's never happened before.
That's never happened.
All right.
It'll never happen again, so I'm just going to do it. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ready?
Yeah. All right, guys, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to see what you actually think about Mo Salah. You like Mo Salah?
I do like Mo Salah.
I really like Mo Salah as well, and I think he's been a phenomenal player. But there's been some debate recently about him being better than Messi and Ronaldo. Where do you stand with that? What do you think?
I think if you think Mo Salah is better than Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, you are, well, mistaken.
Okay, so there's different ways of viewing this, but we want to know what you think about Mo Salah, if he's the best player you've ever seen in your life, just if you're a Liverpool fan or what have you, because we're under the impression that for this season, he should win not only Player of the Year, he should win the Ballon d'Or. I personally think that. But to say he's better than those like your Messis, your Ronaldos, I don't know what you're really thinking there. But on this season stats, totally. So hit us up, get in contact with us, let us know what you think, abuse the system, whatever. But we want to know what you actually think, how highly you regard the beautiful Egyptian king that is Mo Salah. Bang.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been intense, hasn't it?
Yeah, you need to edit the audio down a little bit to make it Instagrammable. It's 1:06.
I can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Nice. I think we're done, yeah?
I'm done with you. I'm done. Thank you for
watching. We're discarding you.
There we go. There we are. Right, we're going to do some pards dancing whilst watching the end of the Real Madrid Bayern Munich game now.
And we're going to play some FIFA.
Yeah. Big up to our sponsors this week, which is Knick Knacks.
Knick Knacks.
The happy friendly treat. We've got them, so enjoy the hot and spicy Knick Knacks whilst you can. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Say bye.
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 2, 1.